welcome back viewers. You're watching NewsX and I'm Kriti Mehta. A major investigation by the Indian Express has raised serious questions over the use of government sports funds meant for India's top athletes. The report claims that crores of rupees from the National Sports Development Fund, a special fund created to support elite athletes and sports infrastructure, were allegedly used to upgrade sports facilities linked to bureaucrats and civil service institutions. According to the investigation, more than rupees 6 crore was sanctioned between 2021 and 25 for projects connected to institutions such as the Civil Services Officers Institute, the Central Civil Services Cultural and Sports Board, and the new Moti Bagh residential complex in Delhi. Beyond bureaucratic institutions, the investigation has found that two RSS-linked organizations in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh also received funding for sports facilities and tournaments. Records also showed that the Sports Authority of India spent over rupees 1 crore on cricket-related gifts for boards in countries such as Jamaica, Maldives and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. One of the biggest allocations highlighted in the report is rupees 2.2 crore approved in 2024 for upgrading sports facilities at New Moti Bagh, a high-security residential complex that houses senior bureaucrats. The facility reportedly includes a temperature-controlled swimming pool, badminton and squash courts, tennis courts, a gym and a billiards room. The report also notes that the same complex had earlier received funding under the Khelo India scheme. It is notable here that the fund is governed by a 12-member council under the Union Sports Minister, but grant proposals are cleared by a 6-member panel comprising senior officials under the Sports Ministry. Questions are now being raised over whether public sports funds intended for athlete development were instead used for exclusive facilities with restricted access. Adding to the controversy, a parliamentary standing committee reportedly flagged the issue and advised the Sports Ministry against using NSDF money for residential colonies and civil services organizations and associations. The investigation also points to a sharp decline in contributions to the sports fund in recent years, even as spending patterns are under scrutiny. However, the larger debate triggered by the investigation centers around priorities and accountability. At a time when Indian athletes continue to demand better infrastructure, coaching support and funding transparency, questions are now being asked about whether a fund meant for sporting excellence should be financing elite facilities for administrators. The Sports Ministry has not responded to queries yet. Meanwhile, my colleague Brian Thomas has filed a ground report from inside of Central Civil Services Cultural and Sports Board. Take a look.
Well, we are at CCS-CSB. You can see the visuals also, what it looks like from where we are. This is basically in regard of the National Sports Development Fund, which is a special government fund that is done to help athletes in training, exposure and infrastructure. But again, an investigation was found that between the 4 years of the time frame, that is 2021 to 2025, more than 6.2 crore of the sports fund was spent upgrading sports facilities used by bureaucrats. One was in New Moti Bagh residential complex, one was the CSOI, that is the Civil Service Officer Institute, and where we are right now, that is the Central Civil Service Culture and Sports Board. These funds got used for renovating badminton courts, tennis courts, swimming pool, gym, squash courts and billiards room. You can see a huge ground where you can see on the other side, on the left hand side, you can see a basketball court on the other side, and this is a big court here. I'll request my camera person Akash to focus and show the badminton court also that is there, and there are other gym equipments also that is in front. Now this is controversial because the fund is basically it was destined to use for to support elite athletes, sports infrastructure for public athlete use, and for international training and competitions. But again, the question arises because of the fact that this happened when the donations to the fund reportedly fell sharply from 85.26 crore to 37.02 crore. There was a parliamentary committee also that warned against giving these funds to residential colonies and civil services association and recommend stricter regulation itself. So clearly, somewhere down the line, when you see the funds that was used for athletes were used in renovation properties to make, all kinds of facilities. You talk about swimming pool, gym, squashing court, gym, billiard room. So all these have been used in these locations where we are. First, we were obviously reporting from the CSOI, then we are at CCSCSB. So clearly, this is our report to highlight what is going on and to show you the real picture of the investigation that is going on from these very locations at this point of time. This is me, Brian Anthony Thomas, signing off with camera person Akash for NewsX Delhi. Well, we are at CCSCSB.
And let's now take a look at what exactly the National Sports Development Fund is, what it is meant for, and the spending pattern year after year. Let's go across to our plasma screens. For that, we're going to take a look at National Sports Development Fund. It was set up in 1998, launched to strengthen India's sporting ecosystem. First started in 1998. Channelizes financial support for athletes, infrastructure and sports promotion. It also provides flexible and targeted assistance to help sports persons train under international coaches. That's the idea for which the fund was set up. It is meant to improve facilities and enhance India's performance in global competitions. The National Sports Fund is managed under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and it is operationally linked with the Sports Authority of India, the SAI. It is aimed at mobilizing resources from government and non-government sources, and the primary objective is funding elite training, upgrading infrastructure and providing for athletes to be trained under international coaches, supporting research and innovation, sports sciences, enabling international exposure for Indian athletes. A key program supported through the fund is the Target Olympic Podium Scheme. The Target Olympic Podium Scheme, it focuses on identifying and assisting medal prospects for major international events. The structured support for athletes is a goal of this fund. International training exposure, sports science assistance, performance analysis and coaching access is what is the aim under this structure. Now, what is it meant for? Who it is meant for? It's for training Indian youths in employable skills and increase vocational educational capacity. It's also to support private training institutions and create industry-specific training programs. Moving ahead, it is also aimed at improving employability and entrepreneurship and certifying workers under national skill standards. Now, what NSDF is meant for? It includes fund schemes like Pradhan Mantri KVY, Udan scheme, Star scheme, apprenticeship and sector skill programs. Finally, let's take a look at how much amount has been spent year after year starting from 2001. Firstly, looking at the period 2021 to 22, rupees 34.18 crore was spent in 2021-22 period. Next year, a reduction by almost a half to rupees 16.97 crore in 20 to 23 period. Then in 23 to 24, rupees 73.18 crore, a substantial increase there that we saw. 24 to 25, 22.29 crore, and this year, last year in fact 2025 to 26, 27.31 crore was spent under this fund, which is meant to train athletes. In fact, I am joined in by two athletes with me in the discussion here. I have Jalaj Arora. He's an international athlete, a triathlete. He's won the Asian Triathlon Cup of 2020, 2022 and 25, and also the Ironman Goa 70.3. He's participated there, and currently Jalaj is training for upcoming Ironman Goa 70.3 event. Thanks very much for joining me, Jalaj. Firstly, when you see reports like this, what are your first reactions?
Well, thank you so much for this invite, and like it was stunning for us as if I just also made my own assumptions on the same. Like when I was going through the data, and it was showing that in 2021 they started with 15 crore, and then after that it was went to 2022 it was 43 crores, and in 23 it was 85 crores, and now after that was declining since then. Maybe after elections, BJP's elections, or maybe how it was going. In 2024, it dropped to 70 crores, and then now it's 37. So me as an athlete, it was a very drastic thing that I saw, and I think that has to be taken care very well of, because we as an athlete, we struggles with a lot of changes, with a lot of diet we have to go through, and till now I'm still struggling with these sponsorships, and I was trying to call Sports Authority of India's office as well. There are so many numbers have been given, but majorly all of them are blocked. So we cannot contact them for asking for sponsorship. I was qualified for the World Championships in the 2025, which is going to happen in 2026 Nice, France. I was unable to register myself for the same just only because of lack of funds. And right now, if the government is not there to support us, then there's no future for athletes like us.
Does
So
it
I think that's
anger you when these reports emerge, when funds that are meant for athletes to get them proper training, infrastructure and facilities are misused in such manner and used for private access for bureaucrats?
Yeah, I mean, you are correct. Like, if you can go through the Talkatore Stadium, the stadium is really good in Delhi. But the point is that after 8 o'clock, the private, it makes the pool private. Like, it is commercialized with the other people as well. So I train every single day. But majorly in a week, they close the pool just for the private events, just for making a private functions are going on. There's a Tau Devilal Stadium in Gurgaon. We go for training, and every single day, a lot of events are happening, like some Diljit Dosanjh concert, or in JLN Stadium, or there's some so many private events happens. And where do the athletes go? They just do nothing. They just come and throw the garbage on the stadium. Where are we going to do the trainings? This is the main thing.
Jalaj, talk to me about, I mean, you have gone on for several kind of trainings. You've also competed internationally. Are most athletes even aware that such a fund exists for their use?
Yeah, fun do exist for them, because I think training should be like fun only. You should never keep yourself in like that way, that uh, uh, creating yourself in a boundary or a position where you are keeping yourself in a frustrated way. Just enjoy the training. That's what I would suggest to all the athletes.
No, what I wanted to ask is that, do you think the other athletes are aware that the fund is there, the National Sports Development Fund exists for their use, which they can use to get themselves trained better, to use facilities, and the fund that's meant for
Okay.
them being misused in
Yeah.
that manner? Are they even
So I
aware?
think, yes, you're correct. I mean, there are a lot of people who are not even aware of that. because when even I was trying to connect with them, they were saying me you just have to drop a mail, then you have to call them. There's a lot of things are required. I mean, there's no easy way out. There are many athletes who are training for marathons, 5 kilometers running, 10 kilometers running, but they have no way to approach to the governments for their funds. So I think that vision is not clear to them.
All right. Jalaj, finally, what would your appeal be right now to the Ministry of Youth and Sports Affairs when such reports are coming out? What action is it that you would demand from the ministry?
That's a really good question. I would suggest to all the people who are in the ministry, they should focus on the athletes who are winning in state level, who comes first, second, third. They should at least sponsor them, right? The moment they come first, second, third, try to give them 30, 40,000 amount of money every single month so that they can take the diets properly, take their training properly, and they should, if they have to invest on their products, sports products like shoes, maybe javelins, or maybe anything in their particular sports, swimming goggles, and everything. So I think that from that way they should start. And the people who are winning in nationals, they should also give them some amount of. First, they start with 30, 40. You can go with 50, 60,000. And if the person becomes a national athlete or international athlete, they then increase 1 lakh to 1 lakh 20,000. Because right now, there are a lot of consumptions are there for the normal athletes to go in this. And every parent's demand from their kids that what's the scope of it? How much you're gonna earn? You just invest yourself on this, and you can take your career into corporate, and you can earn more from that. There's
Yeah.
nothing left in like that. So you have to understand that you have to give a good amount of money to the athletes so that they can do training and they can also follow their passion a lot. That's what I
Yes.
would suggest them.
All right, Jalaj, thank you very much for joining us and for speaking to us on this. Dr. Sunita Gudara, who's an Asian marathon champion, is also joining us in the discussion. Dr. Gudara, thank you very much for joining us. I would start with the same question that I asked Jalaj. What is your first reaction to reports like these? Request you to unmute yourself, ma'am. Yes, okay. Please start over. Yeah, it's good. Please start over. Yes.
If they are putting their money uh, then they should that their kids will come out for few is not the done thing for championships, to getting medal for the country. Like now they are thinking of Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, and the Olympic bid. But where is the money for the athletes? There is no grassroots level improvement, or say putting money into grassroots level development. And after few years, the athletes will vanish, because what Jalaj was saying, in Nehru Stadium, again they have opened the Zora auditorium, the park is gone. So now, whenever there are functions or anything, and there are so much of garbage next 2 days. So the facilities which are already there are not in working condition properly. The fitness center is shown in Nehru Stadium, but it is not open for the athletes.
Yeah.
Secondly, the support system from the grassroots level, from the district level to state level to the national level, there is no support system from the government side. And if they are putting their money for the bureaucrats, then okay, good. Bureaucrats will come out with their and they go for Olympics. They will train hard. They will spread it out, and they should create that kind of what happens if you create world-class infrastructure in the bureaucrats' colony. These are all underutilized high-five facilities given by the ministry to the bureaucrats. How many are using them? Just for namesake, because they have world-class facilities in their premise. For that, they are putting the money which will go to the athletes. They are putting in their kitty.
Right. Dr. Godara, thank you very much for speaking to